Baltimore Ravens beat the Green Bay Packers tonight here in Week 17 by a final score of 41-24 without Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry ran all over that Packers defense tonight, which means the Pittsburgh Steelers will need to win tomorrow in Cleveland versus the 3-12 Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders tomorrow afternoon if they want to clinch the AFC North Division Championship before their season finale versus the Baltimore Ravens next week. Now, we're going to be going live for this game tomorrow afternoon, guys. We went live for a Ravens hate watch party tonight. Unfortunately, that didn't go our way. Hopefully tomorrow it's a more celebratory kind of tone by the end of that football game. We're going to be going live at 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, an hour of pregame coverage, followed by live play-by-play and analysis of the game itself, followed by extensive post-game reaction and coverage as well. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already to never miss any of our watch parties. We had a lot of fun on the watch party tonight, even though the Steelers didn't get the result that they wanted. Hopefully we can put a bow on this thing tomorrow afternoon. And, it is an opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers to earn this thing, not rely on somebody else to hand them a division championship. They have an opportunity now to go out and take it in the home stadium of one of your division rivals. I mean, if you can be wearing a hat and a t-shirt at the end of the game tomorrow afternoon in Cleveland, and those Cleveland fans have to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers celebrate a division championship tomorrow, there's nothing that will bring more joy to my heart. And this is a game where the Pittsburgh Steelers, at least on paper, if they really believe that this is a team that's capable of going on a run in the NFL playoffs this year, they should be able to beat the Cleveland Browns, even in Cleveland. All right, they're a 3-12 football team. Like their top two starting running backs, maybe even their top three running backs might be out for tomorrow's game. You got Shedeur Sanders, a rookie quarterback, all these different things. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are on a 3-game win streak. Sure, you don't have DK Metcalf, but the defense is starting to turn things around. The run game is going really well. Everything points to a Pittsburgh Steelers victory. But the pressure is definitely now on, all right? You got to get this win tomorrow afternoon because if you lose, it's going to create an early playoff game situation in Week 18 versus the Baltimore Ravens. And as we learned this week, the Steelers will not have DK Metcalf for that Week 18 game. So if the Steelers lose tomorrow, that's going to open up a hell of an opportunity for the Baltimore Ravens to come in at the last second and steal this division championship away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if the Steelers feel like they're a playoff caliber team, that they deserve to be in the playoffs and they deserve to get this first AFC North Division championship in a half decade, well, they better come ready to play tomorrow. They better lock in and they better earn this thing tomorrow afternoon. So who you got for tomorrow's matchup? Type PIT for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if you think it's going to be a quote-unquote Mike Tomlin special and they're going to lose in Cleveland tomorrow, type CLE. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a few seconds, and we'll tell you about our sponsor today at Prize Picks. And while I tell you about today's sponsor, let me know who you got tomorrow afternoon. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today, and it is the holiday season. And in my opinion, guys, this is the best time of the year for watching sports. Whether it's bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it's all happening all at once. While all that action is going on, there's one place where it feels so good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is super simple to play. Just pick more than or less than at least 2 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. My favorite feature about Prize Picks is that how you play is up to you. If you want a little bit more flexibility, you can choose the flex play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you're feeling really strong about a particular lineup and want a bigger payout, you can go for the power play. No matter how you play, though, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test and make some money. That is, if you know ball. For tonight's matchup between the Packers and Ravens, Ponzi and I actually made some money with our friends at Prize Picks today because we took the more on PATs made from Brandon McManus. He made 3. We took the more on Derrick Henry rush yards. He more than doubled that number. We took the more on field goals made for Ravens kicker Tyler Loop. So download the Prize Picks app today if you haven't already. Use code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Now, another game that impacts the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC playoff picture here in terms of who they're going to play in round one if they make the playoffs this year. The Texans beat the Los Angeles Chargers by a final score of 20-16, which now means that the Houston Texans jump the Los Angeles Chargers as well as the Buffalo Bills. And now the Bills take over the number 5 spot in the AFC wild card race. The Los Angeles Chargers, who have already clinched a playoff spot, by the way, move down to the number 7 spot. And personally, guys, the Bills are the team of those 3 wild card options that I would like to see the least. The Texans and the Chargers are both warm weather football teams. Of course, that potential playoff game would be played in a frigid Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But, I want to go up against a less experienced quarterback and a warm weather team. Well, guess what? Buffalo knows how to play in the cold, and they've got the most experienced starting quarterback in the AFC playoff picture right now. That isn't Aaron Rodgers, and it's Josh Allen, so that's going to be a hell of a matchup. Plus, the Bills already came to Pittsburgh and stomped on us, all right? We didn't have Derek Harmon, but nonetheless, that's not the team that I want to see in the first round of the playoffs, and that's why the other game to watch tomorrow, after the Steelers hopefully beat the Cleveland Browns, the Bills will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles in Buffalo. And the reason why that game is important, guys, is because Buffalo plays the New York Jets in the season finale. So if they win versus the Philadelphia Eagles, the chances of Buffalo being the number 5 seed in the AFC playoffs this year is extremely high. So as Steelers fans, we better be hoping that the Philadelphia Eagles can pull off a win on the road versus Josh Allen, who is dealing with a foot injury, by the way. We're hoping the Birds can pull out a big-time victory on the road tomorrow afternoon. Now, we did get an update from Tom Pelissero from NFL Network today as in terms of TJ Watt's status. He did practice in a limited capacity this week in Pittsburgh, and according to Pelissero, Watt will be ready whenever Pittsburgh pretty much needs him to go, and he's going to be ready to go when he's needed, when the season's on the line. So he said he could be ready to go as early as next week versus the Baltimore Ravens if the season comes down to that, but he would also be ready to play in a first-round playoff game if the Steelers can beat the Cleveland Browns. So essentially the way it breaks down, guys, is that if the Steelers win tomorrow versus the Browns, I would say Watt gets another week of rest and he will be playing in the first round of the playoffs. But if the Steelers lose tomorrow against Cleveland, you better bet your bottom dollar TJ Watt is going to play against the Baltimore Ravens in what is essentially an early playoff game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that really puts into perspective the stakes of tomorrow's game, guys, because if you win, you essentially get a bye week before your first round playoff game against whoever you're playing in the playoffs this year. But if you lose, you get an extra playoff game that you have to win on your road to a potential Super Bowl. So this week's game against the Browns, tons at stake for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, even if, TJ Watt comes back next week or whenever he comes back, I think he'll probably be on a pitch count just because he's been out of it for a little bit. I think that especially because you've got Nick Herbig, you've got Alex Highsmith, both of which are going to be playing tomorrow against the Browns, by the way. Herbig is off the injury report and is ready to get another start for the Steelers this year. I think that they're going to have a pretty even 3-way rotation between these guys when Watt eventually gets back, and that's what I've been advocating for all season anyway, so I don't think that's going to impact this defense all that much. And then we'll finish up today's show here, guys, by letting you guys know about some practice squad elevations that happened today. Deshaun Jameson and Jack Driscoll have been elevated from the Peace Squad. Now, I don't expect these guys to play unless there's some sort of injury. Jalen Ramsey is off the injury report. He's going to be ready to go in the slot tomorrow, and then Asante Samuel Jr., Joey Porter Jr. slated to be the starters on the outside with Chuck Clark and Kyle Duggar as the starting safeties for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon. Now, if you're with this team, man, you still believe in this team, you think that they're going to lock up the division tomorrow, type those real ones. If you're going to be with us here the rest of the way, we're going to be covering this team no matter what happens over these next 2 or hopefully more weeks as the 2025 season comes to a close. So make sure you guys type those real ones if you're with us on that, and make sure you click that subscribe button and join us tomorrow. It all starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, an hour of pregame coverage followed by live play-by-play and then postgame reaction for Steelers versus Browns tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a very big day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hopefully, at the end of tomorrow, we're talking about this team as division champions for the first time in a half decade. So if you're going to be with us tomorrow, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. And until tomorrow, guys, here we go, Steelers.